This is the first day I've been out since...
Yeah, a long time.
It's been a long time. The weather has been crazy. I think there was a Saturday a couple of weeks ago when I might have been able to get out. It's a weird life on oxygen. But I had to cancel an appointment this week because my lungs just don't take freezing. Hello and welcome from Fralins and Friends. Today we're the black sweater team. We each got each other black sweaters for Christmas. This is the first day I've been out since...
Yeah, a long time.
It's been a long time. The weather has been crazy. I think there was a Saturday a couple of weeks ago when I might have been able to get out. It's a weird life on oxygen. But I had to cancel an appointment this week because my lungs just don't take freezing. We've been getting ready to do a 60s theme here coming up. So what do you remember about the 60s?
Used to wear the real cream in her hair,
Oh, Dad was awful about that stuff.
grease in her hair,
Oh, you mean the ducktail?
combed it back.
Oh, I thought that was just on Happy Days.
No. No.
Yeah. I guess I thought that was more 50s and maybe 60s.
When I was growing up, it did anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they did.
Gas was only about a quarter a gallon.
That I do remember. It was like, we could afford to go anywhere. Speed limit was 70 everywhere.
Pop was like a nickel or a dime.
Yeah. Yeah, we're old.
And you could take your pop bottles in and cash them in and get money out of them.
Yep, nickel a bottle. That was when they had glass bottles.
You know, the winters seemed like they lasted a lot longer. If it would snow in November, that snow was still on the ground until late March.
Yeah.
Just had more added on to it all the time. But
Yeah, we didn't get as many what we call Indian summers. I mean, Kansas and Nebraska weather is always been weird, kind of up and down. But I remember going ice skating on that pond down there growing up. We had this big pond, and if the ice was thick enough, we'd get out there on the ice skates. And it wasn't every year, but we got out there a lot of years because we got fairly good at skating on that pond. My brother fell and cracked his head, though. I swear he had a concussion. My parents weren't so sure, but he survived. So, oh, there's a squirrel.
he used to have them. It was back in the 60s,
Yeah.
60s and 70s.
The long hair.
That came more in the 70s.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, late 60s and 70s. Because when we got married, your hair would have been a lot longer if it weren't so curly at the time. His hair was very curly. It had a lot of wave, but then at the end it would go, it would curl up in a kind of a roll.
It's just kind of too. That's because it's too long.
Yeah. But remember that first haircut I gave you?
Yeah.
The only haircut he ever allowed me to give him. I've been cutting the kids' hair. I had never cut curly hair before. I had thinned my friend's hair, which was very, very curly, about like yours was. But hers was super thick. But I wasn't prepared for the shrinkage on naturally curly hair. And it was the 70s, and a lot of people had long hair, a lot of guys. And I kind of butched him. Not completely, but it looked like it.
Yeah.
The music of the 60s.
Yeah.
Wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold his hand. And see, those were Beatles. Well, there was the Mamas and the Papas, you know, with Aquarius, and there was the musical Hair, and the musical Jesus Christ Superstar did not go over good in my house. they thought it was sacrilegious, which I don't know, it may have been. I didn't. The song itself, I don't know if it was, but the play might have been. I don't know. But in 1963, I wasn't very old, but I don't know if I remember it so much, or if it's just all the stuff that's gone on since. But I kind of remember when President Kennedy was assassinated. Because I would have been 8. Not quite. I would have been 8 that October. So I would have been 7. So old enough that I could, yeah, I think I kind of remember it, but I think most of the details I remember from later. I think I remember getting home from school and everything was kind of down in the dumps.
I was either in kindergarten or first, I don't remember.
Then Martin Luther King Jr., was he 1968? Somewhere in there.
I don't remember.
That one I do remember. That was a day that just, I think that rocked America almost worse than when Kennedy was assassinated.
Yeah.
I know it rocked my world more because I was old enough to remember it more, but no, I really think at the time it did. I'll never forget his I've Got a Dream speech. Because it wasn't about African American power, it was about everybody being empowered. Everybody being equal. So, anyway, those were some of the things in the 60s and 70s, because we're mixing them up here. We were born in the 50s, but we started our lives in the 70s. Our own lives. What year car was it that you had when you were, was it a...
First car I ever had was a 59 Chevy, 2-door hardtop.
Wow, that wasn't what you had when we got married. Well, you had that Dodge Dart when we got married. But
No.
the one you gave Russell.
I don't remember, just...
Yeah. Anyway.
I know we bought a motor at the junkyard for $125, and that car for $125 at the junkyard, and Monty and I put it together.
Yeah. My first car, well, it was actually when my dad got it, it was for my brother and I both. Well, once I got old enough to have a license, and he had to share it with me. He wasn't that happy about it, but then later he got his own car and I inherited it. It was a 63 Ford Galaxy 500, 3-speed on the column. First started learning how to drive it was in Marysville. Mom was trying to teach me to use the clutch. Got to Marysville, right at the main intersection, and that clutch, I was not getting it to work. I kept stalling it out. I finally learned. Mom wasn't going to bail me out. She was going to make me sit there till I figured it out. Some of the cars there weren't happy with me, but it probably didn't last as long as I thought. I don't know, let's be quiet for a second, see if they can hear those birds.
Huh?
Oh. Now the birds are gonna shut up.
Oh, here got birds anyway.
I did. They were being pretty loud there for a minute.
The gooses or geese, they've been going wacky. I don't know which way to go this weather.
Well, we've enjoyed this. I hope you have too. This is the Fralins, Joel and Glenda. And we will see you tomorrow, or at least I will. And please do subscribe. Click on the notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. And remember, when you're out and about, smile and wave or go up and say hi.
Hola.
Hola. There you go.
Hola.
And we'll see you. Thank you for your visit.